The world right now is in incredibly volatile times. We are at a period where we have just gone post-election here in the United Kingdom. We are on the verges of a presidential election in the United States. And with the proliferation of social media, there are many different sentiments which are being expressed, both in a positive and a negative sense. One thing that we have to our distinct advantage is many, many years of experience and highly qualified and professional persons within the Metropolitan Police, within counterterrorism, within the Domestic Security Services, MI5, who will be monitoring everything up until and on the day of the state opening of Parliament to ensure that they will try their utmost to intercept and diffuse any possible problems that could emerge. Of course, the state opening ceremony itself is immense, but thankfully it is held in one location, probably one of the most secure locations in the United Kingdom. However, one of the greatest challenges is what we would term as the journey management, and that is the various members of Parliament who will be attending the state opening, coming from various different parts of the country, and coming many of which on their own steam. Not all parliamentary members will have signed close protection, and those that do will have been assessed by RAVEC, who are responsible for assessing the security around members of parliament. And obviously, members of the cabinet and the current incumbent party, Keir Starmer, Prime Minister Keir Starmer and his cabinet, will have heightened level of security around them. And bearing in mind, this is their first occupancy of Parliament and the Prime Minister function for many years, this has an even greater bearing in terms of the sentiment that needs to be monitored by the security services to determine how they will be regarded, what could be the potential plots and plans, and bearing in mind that terrorists will constantly be cycling plans to carry out their attacks. Any day that is going to be deemed as internationally covered by the media and is seen as significant in terms of the government is always going to be at risk. Well, there will be many different elements brought to bear. And this is from not only the physical side, which will be provided by members of Metropolitan Police, SO19, members of the Counterterrorism Command, members of Royalty and Specialist Protection, or RASP as they're otherwise known, but also technology, communications, and various other tools that will be used in a sophisticated sense, including the CCTV that surrounds Whitehall, the Houses of Parliament, which will be using some of the most up-to-date analytics and also facial and vehicle recognition to ensure that, again, the police will not only be in a reactive stance, they can be proactive in trying to, again, intercept any problems should they be presented. And this may also include perhaps potentially members of the special forces working in a QRF or quick reaction force capability, should it be necessary. There will also be the counterterrorism police officers, the CTSFOs, who we have seen obviously on the streets who are in grey. And again, it's striking that fine balance, particularly because it's covered by the world's media, to ensure that it shows a resilience and robust presence, but doesn't show that anybody is running scared. These things have to be finely balanced to ensure that things can go without event, but there are those elements working behind the scenes and covertly in plain clothes to, again, identify any possible risks. But the risk assessment process, which will have been going on for many months already, will, of course, be dynamic on the day and will adjust and adapt according to what will be happening. In terms of the types of threats that could materialize on the day, this will be quite broad, and this will range all the way from terrorism and international extremism, groups such as Islamic State in the Khorasan, who were responsible for the attack on the concert hall in Moscow. There will be Al-Qaeda, who is very much looking to regain its foothold as the leading international terrorist group to be, if you like, reckoned with. But beyond that, there will also be the groups such as Free Palestine supporters, Just Stop Oil, Extinction Rebellion, because again, as we know, whether it be terrorists or protest groups, they are looking to promote their agenda by all means possible. And any event which is going to be televised and is going to be covered by the media gives them that perfect opportunity to shine their light. But again, beyond that, and even lesser on a more micro level, we always have to consider the lone actor, the individual who goes out on their own volition to carry out an attack and chooses, obviously, to use this window, this opportunity to, again, carry out that action for whatever motivation that might be. There is always going to be collateral risk at any major event, such as the state opening of Parliament. And that collateral risk could impinge or impact on members of the general public, tourists or visitors to this country who wish to turn up for this event to spectate. But this also transgresses through to protest groups that may decide to, again, hijack the day for their own agenda. Now, if that coincides as a perfect storm with a terrorist group carrying out an attack, if those protest groups decide to turn up to illegally protest without coordinating with the Metropolitan Police, to not obey public order, and as a direct result, could not only be directly impacted and injured by the effects of a collateral terrorist attack, but by the fact that they could hinder and impinge the authorities from responding in the event to a terrorist attack. So for any of these protest groups choosing to turn up, this could be deemed as highly irresponsible, and I think very unlikely to play in their favor.
In relation to defence more generally, we will carry out our strategic review to look at the challenges, the capabilities, and on the back of that make further plans. I am committed to that 2.5% within our fiscal rules, but that strategic review needs to come first.